Welcome to the OpenSpime Developer Network. I'm pleased to announce the release of PyOpenSpime 0.2, the OpenSpime library written in Python. The changes between this and the previous versions are a major code refactoring, which has substantially increased code usability. For instance, all the part of the code related to the OpenSpime engine itself have been separated from the parts related to the XMPP client. The code now also runs threaded, which means that it runs its own listening loop into a thread, which means that there is no interference with other code, which may, for instance, display graphical user interface. We have also added a new component class. And finally, it is very easy to add new OpenSpime custom extensions by following the instructions that are provided to you in a README file included in the PyOpenSpime zip package. This is a short video tutorial that will show you how easy it is to perform an OpenSpime data reporting using the OpenSpime library PyOpenSpime. First thing you will need to do is go to the OpenSpime Developer Network at developer.openspime.com. Register if you haven't done so yet, and once logged in, click on My Developer. This is a resource page which contains everything you need to perform a full data reporting using OpenSpime. First thing you will need to do is of course download the library itself, PyOpenSpime 0.2, by clicking on the provided link and saving it somewhere in your hard drive. Once you have it there, you will need to unzip it. Let's look at the package right now. You will see that it contains a docs folder where all of the documentation is, a lib folder which contains the library itself, and a tut folder which contains right now 3 examples. I'm gonna use 2 of those today, the scope node and the spime, to perform a data reporting. I assume right now that you have all the necessary dependencies to run PyOpenSpime. If not, just check out the README file. It contains detailed information on how to proceed. Before I do proceed to show you a full data reporting, I need to set up a few things. I go back on my developer page and I see that 2 addresses have been assigned to me. One is my Spime ID and one is my scope node ID. The full reasoning behind data reporting is that this Spime will send some data to this scope node, which will receive the data and, just for the purpose of this example, print it on screen. To do so, the Spime will encrypt its data and sign its data before sending it over the internet. The scope node will receive this data, verify the signature of the Spime ID, and decrypt the data contained in it. Therefore, to ease you out, we have already set up everything for you to work out immediately, and these information and keys and private and public RSI keys needed for encryption and signature are already included in this OpenSpime packages you can download here from your page. So I'm gonna take those and download them on my drive. What you need to do right now is to unzip those in the tutorial folder, both of them. This is because they need to be on the root of where your code is situated, and since we're gonna use the scope node and spime code here, this is where we have put it right now. The first thing I'm gonna do is edit the scope node basic file, and we'll scroll it down. And I see that there is a configuration right here in which I have to input my SNID, which is my scope node identifier. It's the one that I can take from here that has been provided to me. So here it is. What I need to do is just paste it right here and save the code. That's it. The scope node is ready. If I start it, I see that it connects to the developer OpenSpime com XMPP server, and I see that the client dev scope node 2 is ready. Now I need to set up my Spime so that it can send some data. I edit this file, scroll down a little bit, and in the configuration section I see that I have a Spime ID and a scope node ID. The Spime ID is of course the identifier of a Spime that is going to send data, and I can take it from here. Just need to copy this and paste it here. But this data is going to be sent to scope node, so I need to set also the scope node, which is the recipient of my data, here, and I can take it again from my page. I can save this file now since I've edited. What is going to happen therefore is that this Spime is going to send some data to this scope node, which is my scope node, which is already connected. If I scroll down a little bit in the page, I can see that the data that is going to be sent is an entry in form of XML, which contains some date, exposure, latitude, longitude, elevation, and in this case ppm, since we are reporting some fictitious CO2 amount of part per million. As you can see, all of this is hard-coded, but we are just demonstrating how this works, of course. So since I have set up this, I just can close it, and my Spime is already there. So let me remind you that the scope node is here listening. What I have to do now is start my Spime. You see a lot of things happen. Let me remind you that in this console we have seen what the Spime did, and in this console we have seen what the scope node did. We can see that the Spime has sent data with stanza security, encrypt equals true and sign equal true, which means that the data that you have seen has been encrypted before being sent on the net and has been signed before being sent on the net. And if I look at the scope node, the first thing I notice is that here on the screen, we have printed it on the screen of course for demo purposes, you see that the scope node has successfully received the data that has been sent by the Spime. We can also see that this data, since it has been sent encrypted, it has been decrypted, and we also seen that the signature has been successfully verified. This concludes it, since basically we have seen a full data reporting coming from a Spime to a scope node. One additional thing, you may notice that in the tutorial folder you will have a cache folder. These are two public RSA keys. One is from the scope node and the other one is from the Spime. These public RSA keys are used for allowing encryption of the data being sent by the scope node and to allow the checking of the signature of the data being sent. Please take a few minutes of your time to look at the documentation folder. I sincerely hope you will play with all this, and you may come back at us whenever you like, and the OpenSpime Developer Network is here awaiting you. Thank you.